Hello out there, Kentucky Assassin, back at you again. I'm doing something a little bit different as my life has changed a little bit the last few months. Instead of my no-scope 360s, I like to come to with some positive messages. I'll get back to the gun stuff, no doubt. But life's changed a little bit the last few months, so I've had a lot of self-thinking going on and a lot of thought process around some videos and inspirational, motivational videos that I've listened to. And some of my responses I've heard on other people's videos, but I have my own take on how you take them. Because just like reading the Bible, I may read one thing exactly how it says in the Bible. I may get a different meaning out of it than you do. You may read it, get something completely different. God will give you what you need to take from that. Some people could take this video and take something from it, take it, leave it, pass it along. It's meant for someone. As some of these videos I've watched the last little bit was meant for me. They've been made a couple of years ago. Man knew what the trials were I was going to go through. May know, that I needed some of the words that I've heard. Just now trying out this new computer. Trying to do this video versus my normal iPhone or camera. But it starts out with fire. Fire is one of the most destructive and devastating things we could ever see. Is like a huge forest fire like we had last year in California. Started by man, takes a spark to start a fire. It don't take much. Once it gets started, all it needs is something to consume. Once it starts consuming, it just takes a little bit of wind, a little motivation to turn into an outright fire. Then a little more wind and a path. You take that path, it will go wherever the path has something for it to destroy. It'll go across the mountainside, up hills, down hills. It'll jump roads, rivers. It'll jump and be destructive. But I've saw in a couple of videos that I've watched, it talks about proverbially setting yourself on fire so the world can watch you burn. The way I take that is you burning is you burn yourself to the ground. And you seek out those that'll fan your flames to get you where you need to be. If you need to reset in life, like the phoenix, you're going to rise from the ashes and be something great again. And where I want to go with this is, if you think about like in California and some of these cities out that way has the great sequoia trees. During these forest fires, they will absolutely, utterly burn through about everything in its path, except for these sequoias. They're virtually fire resistant. They will take a burning and they'll keep going. They will not die. But the beautiful thing about the sequoias, the only way you can, germinate the seeds of these sequoias is through fire. Fire heats them up, causes them to crack out of their shell, causes them to be able to start bringing life to a new tree. Inside that small nut, that small seed, everything it needs to be a great sequoia is all included in that little small seed. Once that seed starts through the fire and through the ash and through the germination process, it will get rooted, grow great deep roots, needs a little water, and uses the ashes itself as fertilizer. So it gets rooted, it gets seeded, it starts its path, headed to be a great sequoia and being fire impermeable. Born from fire, it will become to be one of the largest trees that are out there, most durable, so tall and so big and so magnificent. It drinks from the clouds. It don't even need rain. They're so large, and so they take up all the sky above it, and nothing can grow, nothing can compete with it on the ground because it blocks out everything. It takes all the sunlight. You can be in broad daylight and it's good and cold in the shade, although it's 90 degrees above the trees, because it blocks out everything. And it will only survive. There's hardly anything that will live below them. Just like with most anything else, if you had the little small nut in your hand, you'll look at it and say, well, man, this ain't nothing. It's nothing at all. But if you have the mindset to look past what's in the nut, inside that nut is magnificence. Inside that small little nut that needs that fire to crack out and come bring forth its new life. That sequoia is inside that nut. They're the exact same thing. Just one's had time to grow and been through the fires, been through the winds and the damaging, hail, whatever's came through it. It's all contained inside that little small nut. Once that nut gets going, there's no stopping where it's going to be or what it's going to be. Its destiny is to be a great sequoia tree. But if you look past the small little nut and you can just visualize what is inside of it, it's amazing. Same thing with people. If you can look past what you see on the see them as, you see like me, a broken man anymore. You look past that, you see the inside, you see what I can become through the fires. You can see past the devastation that's been in my life recently. You see past that what I'm going to become, not what I can become, what I'm going to become. It's destiny. Going to be great things. But same thing in your life, whatever you're going through. Everybody thinks a lot of these things are the end of the world. You're just going to crumble. You're just going to fall. You're going to fail. You will fail, but fail big. Fail often. Through your failures will come your success of what you want to do. Through the fire, the wind, the hail, the storms, the financial burdens, the marital issues, through all the things in your life, you will fail. You'll fail often. But what you do from then is what's going to make you amazing. You can't judge a person what they can't do. I heard one video, you can't judge a fish because its ability to climb a tree. It's a fish. You can't compare that to it. You can't hold it accountable because it can't do something it wasn't designed to do. But again, inside of each one of us is this acorn, this nut. And what we grow into depends on our surroundings. Our surroundings, we have to fertilize our life with people with like mind, like, goals. Surround yourself with successful people and you'll become successful. You surround yourself with, bitter, hateful haters. Haters will push you down. They will beat you down. They will get you down to their level. Then eventually they'll start trying to step on you. They'll start trying to climb themselves out of the pit they're in because of their situations. They figure, well, if you're up here, they can bring you down to here. And then eventually they'll just push you a little bit more, a little bit more, a little more. Then you're on the same level as them. They brought you down, then you're a stepping stone in their mind. They think if they push you down far enough, you become bedrock for them to grow and do better, feel better about themselves, feel better about their failures. Because then they can comparatively think, well, they're no better than I am now. If you were in a happy marriage and they make you see past what you have and focus on the little things, the small problems, and they're in a horrible relationship and all they want to do is make themselves feel better. So they help you fail a little bit, which then they're thinking, well, they failed too. I failed. Hey, we're the same. No, you're the antagonist if you're the hater, causing other people to fail. Here's an idea. Why not help that person succeed? Help that person rise up themselves. Bring somebody up with you. Help somebody ahead of you. Make yourself feel better, believe in yourself, and help that person grow. Like, back to the fire. The fire consumes, destroys, devours, but it also brings life. The fire in your life will bring forth, new things, greater things. Or it could also go full circle. If you were already a great, being, a great, sequoia, and you've cast your seed needs that fire, needs that tribulation, needs it to get started itself. Then you'll be back to greatness again. Even if a great sequoia were to burn down, it will bring seeds with it, and it will flourish by its seedlings being successful. Plant your seeds accordingly. Plant your children accordingly. Be a positive light to them. Nourish them. Give them what they need. Fan their flames. No matter what their dreams are, what their ambitions are, or if they haven't chosen their path yet. Tell them, give them the confidence, what they need to do to be successful. Push them to be who they're going to be, not someone else. You may not even want them to be like you, but you want them to have the same mindset as you, to be positive and grow in their own ways. But another great analogy, which I may do another one on this one, is somebody, some way, has to start that fire. How does a fire start? Does it take a flamethrower to get a forest fire going? No. Does it take a bomb? No. Does it take anything massive? No. We all know how a lighter works, right? Or a match. You just, that one little spark, that one little flick, that one little grain of energy we call fire, in the right circumstances, will cause that little small blaze, that little brush fire. Then it can consume thousands and thousands of acres. Who is going to be that spark? Are you going to be the spark? Is somebody else going to be that spark? What is your spark to set the fire, to burn yourself, to have your friends fan you, push you, motivate you to where you need to be? Be that spark. That spark has to start from someone. And if you're the leader of your family or your community, provide that spark. You never know how far a spark's going to go and what it's going to develop and the long-term effect of what you're going to do. You can't see far into the future, but if you start a spark, it's going to be a little small fire. It's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And your spark can also be negative. If you input your negative, mindset into someone else, and you embed your negative thoughts into that person, about their friends. If you're not where you need to be in life, and you can drag people down with your spark, you could tell them, well, I wouldn't think about it that way. I think about it this way. Sure, your mom gave you $50 because you didn't have gas or food, but why didn't she give you $100? Then that makes them think, well, yeah, she's got plenty of money. She should have. Well, maybe she's providing that spark as well, giving you enough to what you have to have, not what you want to have. But there's always going to be those antagonists pushing you down a little more, pushing you down, to the point where you can't breathe on your own. You're going to need that spark of life, that positive spark, to build you back up. What's going to start your flame is what's going to be your spark. That's for you to decide. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you did, please like and share it. Please subscribe to my page. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to try to do a lot of these because I've got a lot on my mind. But God bless. We'll see you next time.